In psychology, I suppose there's a couple of different techniques or different ways of thinking about techniques to help yourself when you're stressed. The first is what are called sticking plaster techniques. So these are the things that you can kind of do quick fire in the moment when you notice that maybe you're feeling a bit more stressed. Maybe an employee has just rang in and said that they can't come in, and you're running a busy business and really need them, and your stress levels go up because you're going, how am I going to cope with this day? Maybe something else has just happened. Maybe you've looked at the kind of budgets for the next month and realized that you don't know if you're going to have to be able to have enough staff on to cope with demand. Whatever it is, the sticking plaster techniques are the things that you can do in the moment to help yourself. These are things like deep breathing. The one that I like the most is just breathing in, doing 10 deep breaths, for breathing in for 5 seconds, holding it for 6 seconds, and releasing it for 7 seconds. That allows the stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline in our body to just reduce a little bit. Think about the low-hanging fruit, the things in your life that you can actually do in that day to just change things, whether it's about making sure you have a healthy lunch or doing a little bit of exercise, getting out for a bit of a walk, making sure you're drinking enough water and trying to go to bed maybe a little bit earlier that night. Splashing cold water on your face or your wrist, again, calms your central nervous system down instantly, and so can just help you to feel a little bit calmer. There's a technique called the 5-4-3-2-1, which I really like. So that's where you're looking around you, just taking 30 seconds to look around you and note 5 things you can see, 4 things you can, 5 things you can hear, 4 things you can see, 3 things that you can reach out and touch, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. Use distraction, try and distract yourself from maybe the stress that's in your mind. Or radical acceptance. This is one that I personally find really helpful. So that's that Serenity Prayer that you may have heard of. So it's grant me the serenity to accept the things that I can't change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So just tapping into, if you're stressed about something in the moment and that is something that you cannot change, then there is no point in being stressed about it. So just back up and think about the things that you actually can change, the things that you can control in that day. And then there's longer term management strategies. So things that you can do, or you can help your workplace to do as well. There's some great free resources out there. So you've got things like the cognitive behavioral therapy programs for anxiety and stress. So there's a HSE stress control program at the moment that is available for free if you just search HSE stress control. You can watch the videos back. And again, this is something that perhaps if you're into building a kind of compassionate compassionate place to work that is mindful of stress, you could do this for an hour every week. You're not going to be asked to disclose very much about yourself. It's just about learning stress control strategies. So you could do that with your team. There's also a free mindfulness-based stress reduction program available on Palouse Mindfulness. So that's PALOUSE. And these mindfulness programs actually cost between 500 and 600 euros most of the time. So it's a great free resource. Again, something that you could do within your team once a week for an hour to just go through the videos that are there and then encourage people to practice in their own time. So there is plenty of free resources that you can access to bring into your workplace. But I think by and large, the most important thing that you can do in your workplaces is to really promote a culture, an open culture that acknowledges and normalizes the trickiness of this current time. And to just kind of build a bit of compassion into our days, to check in with each other if you have that emotional space, to ask each other how you're getting on. We have a really nice practice that I'm very proud of in our office space here, which is just to have a gratitude and appreciation tree scribbled up on the whiteboard where people can draw a little leaf at the end of the day and say something that they're grateful for about their workplace or about the people that they work with, or perhaps the work they do, or they can share a challenge that they've overcome or an achievement that they've made. And if you're an employer, just really remember the importance of leading by example. Like, we're all the time watching for, our parents when we're small kids, and then people in positions of power in society. And so you hold a great deal of power over the people that you work with to show them that actually it's okay to acknowledge that things are a bit stressful at the moment. You can be kind as well as kind of firm in how you direct people. And so just sharing that it's all right to have a good work-life balance, I think is really important.